Another episode, Section.300. It's your boy G here, along with my boy Alec, and our guest, our friend Vic, is alongside us as well today. How you guys doing today?
I'm all right. I've been better.
Good. I understand. Hold on, everybody. So before we really get into that, I just want to say welcome to episode 42 of Section.300. I'm your host, G Thomas 7, alongside Alec and Vic today. A great episode. We're here. Section.300 is where real fans talk real life. We talk about sports and music and all the great things that go on around us. Excuse me, I'm being all tongue-tied. All the things that go on around us, and we're bringing on the dialogue that goes on alongside that. I'm getting all tongue-tied today. My apologies. But anyways, that's what our podcast is about. We're talking about all the good stuff. And before I even do all of that, first off, regardless of how I feel about the Valley, I'm a Valley kid. Vic, I know you out here in the Valley. Alec, you be out here sometimes every once in a while. And we just had fires going on out in LA for everybody that's out here. And just want to send our condolences out to anybody that's been affected by those. Send our prayers out to anybody affected by those things. Definitely. Fires have been shaking a lot of people. We get these every year, it seems like. And we hate to see them, and we always continue to just you can't control when these fires happen, but we have to be prepared and just hope for the best. So prayers out to anybody affected by those. And yeah, as Valley kids, we definitely care for if anybody that was in the way of those that swept through the Valley these last couple of days. So major prayers to y'all. Now, another place that needs prayers. We're on episode 42. 42 is a special number because that's Jackie Robinson's number, and Jackie Robinson is a famous Dodger.
You're just trying to make us cry.
Dodgers. Yeah, let's go to it. You got the name right there for everybody to see. Depressed Dodger fan. Yep. Tell the world you're depressed, bro. What's going on?
Man, I was trying to get like the sad Dodger shirt with the little sad Pepe on it.
I feel you.
Man, Wednesday night was a tough one for Dodgers fans everywhere. They took the unexpected L in Game 5 of the NLDS against the Nationals. And it seemed like one that could have been prevented. That's why it hurt so much, too. I think a lot of us have a lot of questions for Dave Roberts, his decisions with the bullpen in the late innings. I have questions going forward, whether we want Dave Roberts as the manager. I think they said that he is going to continue to be the manager. He has like 3 more years on his deal or something like that.
I think 3 more, yeah.
Ooh. I was lost for words like after the game, just seeing them celebrate on our field. Like, I've seen that now 2 times in the World Series, but now to see it in the NLDS in a year where we're supposed to go back to the World Series, that was painful to watch. So,
yeah, sure.
How are you feeling about it, Vic?
Man, how much time we got today? How much time do y'all have?
We got time.
Take all the time you want.
It's the type of thing where I described it to people as like I was like sad. Like This has been a 7-year run.
Yeah.
Really good, really dominant teams.
Yeah.
You're sad, right? Those first couple losses, like the Cardinals and stuff. And you get to the World Series, then you're sad. 2017 more so than 2018. 2018, like we really weren't that good last year. We kind of lucked into it.
Yeah.
And this year, 106 wins for what?
For nothing.
Get that shit for 106 wins, bro. There's no trophies that come with that.
No.
World Series that come with that. That shit, it doesn't matter in the end when you lose in the DS.
You two are the baseball guys. So I'm kind of sitting back and letting y'all mourn and let y'all out right now.
Okay.
But people that aren't baseball fans that are still kind of new to it myself, how would you compare it for like another sport? Is this like the Warriors going 73-9 or whatever and then losing? Is this like that? Or like how would you describe this season compared to another sport?
I don't know if Alec, if you saw this on Twitter, but I saw someone on Twitter try to analogize it to the 73-9 Warriors losing in the first round in Game 7, and I don't think it's quite like
it's not quite that bad.
The Nationals matched up well with. I mean, look, they're 2-2.
Their rotation was really good.
Exactly, and so let's try to play the game, I guess, Alec. Let's analogize it. I'm gonna actually analogize it to the 2010 Lakers, I guess, losing in like second round in like 5 games.
Like 2011 maybe, because 2010
2011 to like the Mavericks.
2010 they won a championship.
2011, kind of, but like I'm talking like 2010. Like
Are you saying like if they lost?
I'm saying if exactly.
Oh, okay.
I'm making a hypothetical.
Okay.
2011, they were kind of past. They were on the downslide already.
Yeah.
But it's like in 2010 on the road to that championship.
Okay.
We lost in like the second round in like 5 or 6 games, and you just scratched your head and went, second round.
Yeah.
Right. Supposed to go all the way. Who's stopping them in the West? Right. Yeah. I don't know. What do you think? How would you analogize it?
It's tough. Like,
it doesn't match up perfectly.
Maybe like that one series where like the Mavericks were the 1 seed and they lost to the 8 seed. Like
the We Believe Warriors.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, kind of like that. But we were more dominant during the regular season. Like
very.
It's hard because baseball is about matchups. Like basketball isn't necessarily about matchups. It's about teams. Baseball. Right. In a short series in 5 games, and I'll admit I was a little worried about the Nationals.
Yeah.
3 dominant pitchers, a hot lineup, not a good bullpen, but it presented some matchup issues for sure. And I wasn't thinking like this is a foregone conclusion, but you win 106 games, you got the starting pitching, you have the hitting, you have the pen, you expect to win that series, and that's why.
Right.
I'm talking about being sad earlier.
They hadn't lost like 2 games in a row since like early September or something like that. That's so crazy. I wasn't expecting them to lose 3 in this series. Like,
yeah.
So now as we go to the game, that final game that they lost in, game 5, I was at work for most of the day, so I didn't get a chance to see it in full. But when I got home, it just said that Kershaw was on the mound, so I turned to it and saw how it unraveled from there. My question is, from my knowledge, there's been instances of Kershaw stepping in late and kind of having scenarios like this in the past where he's kind of blown leads and things. So if he's had a history of it or something along those lines where he's came in late and things didn't really go as they were supposed to. So if he has a history of that and we are the Dodgers this year, that's a stacked team, a dominant team,
right?
Why didn't we have someone else step in, or why didn't we have whoever was already in up to that point? Why was Kershaw Brighton at that point for someone who doesn't understand it?
I remember during the game, because I was on Twitter too, I think I tweeted at you, Vic. I was like, how do you feel about Kershaw? I was very uneasy when they brought him in to get that final out, and I think the bottom of or top of the 7th.
Right.
And they brought him in just to get 1 out, you're saying?
Yeah, it was 2 out.
Why just for 1?
There was a lefty at the plate. I thought we could have left Buehler in because he was lights out to that point.
I agree.
But he was at like 117 pitches, something like that. So he was getting pretty high, but still he was on a roll.
1 out though. Why? That's where I get confused with the baseball. Like if it's just 1 out, he's already been hot. He may be getting tired throughout the game, but you can get 1 more, I would think.
I think there was a man on second and a man on third.
Yeah, I mean, it worked, right?
That did work.
But so Alec tweets at me, he's like, what do you think about the move? And I go, bro, not bad. Because
he has had some instances in the past where he came in and
exactly like what we're talking about is maybe the manager letting Kershaw go too long. And like the history of like the 7th inning, like those matchups against the Cardinals, the 7th inning or the 6th inning, he'd be dominant and then give up a big homer or something and then give up the lead. But the one place he's had a little bit of success consistently is out of the bullpen.
Yeah.
Kind of in some playoff situations. So I was like, okay, sure.
You were very optimistic.
With hindsight, though, why not maybe Kershaw for that batter, Maeda or Kelly in the 8th, and then Jansen in the 9th? But there's something that gets overlooked. And I'm going to talk about the offense, bro. You put 3 runs in 2 innings.
Right.
And then you don't do shit.
Yeah.
You got to keep the pressure up. You got to keep the good swings coming, good at bats, get runners on, bunch people over. Sacrifice something.
Credit to their pitching staff too, though. Strasburg is no slouch on the mound either.
No, and it would have been easy for him to get rattled and give up 3 runs in 2 innings and just be, oh my God, what am I doing? Shuts us down for the rest of the game. The rest of their pitchers shut us out. And we could sit here and blame Kershaw forever, but we didn't put any pressure on them since the 2nd inning. No pressure on their team and on their pitcher. I look at that also. I know Alec has probably noticed that Bellinger didn't perform.
Yep.
Seager, who was hot
Seager
at
was
the end of
awful.
the year, didn't perform.
AJ Pollock was awful.
AJ Pollock 0 for 13 with 11 strikeouts. You're not going to win.
Yeah.
You get like that.
We shouldn't have even been into game 5, honestly. Like game 2, we had like 17 strikeouts or something.
Yeah.
Like horrible approaches to the plate, just swinging for the fences, horrible at bats. So
yeah,
we kind of did put ourselves in that position to potentially lose a game 5. But
right.
I think once it came down to after Kershaw gave up that home run to Rendon, I think you get him out of there because you know his postseason history. And those demons that he's fighting, like I think it's a mental thing because he's one of the all-time, if not the best all-time in the regular season. In the postseason, his numbers aren't the same. So I think after that, especially when you have Soto coming up, and we had Kolarek in the bullpen, struck him out twice
in there,
already. I just didn't understand it. And then to give up 2 home runs on 2 pitches, which is like crushing,
devastating.
And then we have Joe Kelly pitch a great 9th.
Yeah,
like lights out 9th.
Great 9th, and then
we bring him back.
Brought him back. Why?
Why? Yeah.
Why? Why? So then let's talk about I guess Dave Roberts, right? Because that's another hot topic. It's obviously out that he's coming back for at least another year, and he has 3 years left on the contract.
Yeah.
I kind of like Dave, but
I do too. But
some of this stuff in the postseason, though, you need for the lack of a better phrase, bro, you need the balls to make the tough decisions and make the right decisions, Mm-hmm. He just hasn't done it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I think along with Garrett's question too, why bring in Kershaw at that point, I think he kind of had just like a personal thing that he wanted Kershaw to maybe have his moment, his signature moment.
Right.
Finally get over the hump and have that maybe switch for the better.
Yeah.
But at that point, I think you just save Kershaw till the next series if you can get there. We had the options in the bullpen. We had good relievers there. That's what they're there for, to get 1 or 2 outs late in the game.
Yeah.
So that was tough. That was really tough. And then that 10th inning where Joe Kelly comes out.
Bro, Howie Kendrick, Dodger. I follow him on Instagram, bro. He's gonna hit a grand slam against us, and I follow him on Instagram. Come on, Howie.
That hurts.
Man. Don't do me like that.
Be your own boys, man. Be your own boys, for real.
I didn't like that we loaded the bases either.
Nah, me neither. I would have rather put Kolarek in, face Soto.
Yep.
And you get second and third.
We didn't even use Kinley, did we?
We did it. We did
at the very end.
So I guess hypothetically, you pitch to Soto with Kolarek, strike out. Let's just assume that. Take him out and then put Kenley back in.
Right.
Maybe Kenley gets out of that. It's 3-3. But were our hitters really going to do anything?
Yeah. I mean, we did amongst the guys who were garbage in the series at the plate. We did have guys like JT, Russell Martin, who I don't even know if he got an at-bat in that game.
Dude, why was Russell Martin not starting more games? I know Will Smith is a young stud catcher, but Russell Martin, you need veterans in the postseason, man. Veterans that have been there before. And Russell Martin is exactly who needed to be in that lineup.
You do. David Freese, I mean, he always has good at-bats.
Freese just retired.
Yeah.
Just retired. Legendary career.
Yep.
Yeah, anyway, I could talk forever about this, man.
Yeah,
that's fine. That's why I brought you on. I don't know what to say about this. I'm hearing from y'all, so y'all take it away. That's fine with me.
I had a question in the notes, just where do you see Kershaw's legacy now? Too, and Garrett, you can comment on that too, just from what you've seen. But
I mean, let's talk brass tacks right here. One of the greatest regular season pitchers of all time, first ballot Hall of Famer, and it's not even close.
Yep.
MVP, multiple Cy Youngs, ERA titles, strikeout titles, but there is a tarnish on his legacy, and I guess you can liken it to. Oh man, I'm gonna try to make another. I'm gonna do something.
Another basketball analogy.
I have one. Let's see if you say the same thing.
I'm gonna do like a Karl Malone maybe.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All timer points, one of the points leaders.
Yeah.
But Stockton could just never get over that postseason hump. Maybe AI another all-time great that never got that championship. He lost in 0-1,
but he wasn't like a different. Those guys were like different players in the postseason, though. They like kind of stepped up in the postseason.
Right. So I guess
I was gonna say something more current, like James Harden. That's what I was thinking.
I've seen that a lot.
Okay, because he kind of disappears like in the postseason. Okay,
right.
Yeah. I like that. Alec, what do you think about in terms of this?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely see the James Harden one just because they both haven't won rings either, and they kind of shrink in the moments where you need them the most in the postseason. Like, we know what they're capable of. I think I was watching. I think it was First Take, and Stephen A. and Max were talking about. Max was saying like, you don't need them to even like, you don't need Kershaw to step up. You just need him to be like what he is in the regular season.
Exactly.
Even a little bit shade under what he is in the regular season, that would still be good enough because he's all-time great in the regular season.
Exactly.
So it's tough. I think, kind of like a James Harden.
Yeah, I think that's better. I for sure think that's better. It's tough, bro, because I'm a Kershaw apologist. I've always been a Kershaw guy. But I mean, it's just obvious. The one tarnish is going to be his postseason ERA over 4. The win-loss record in the postseason, obviously not in his favor. And if he doesn't win that ring, he'll be one of those guys, another legend in the sports arena.
I really want him to get it. And I really wanted this team to get it too, because like you're probably not going to see all of them together next year again. Like they need to shake it up a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
And then you have older guys too that are like on the cusp of retiring, like Freeze who did retire.
Exactly.
Michael Martin's probably not going to play too much longer either.
No. But I guess, on the bright side is the Dodgers have these young studs. It's like they grow on
continuously, like
they grow on trees. We're going to be so good still in the future, just because, in spite of all the age, in spite of people retiring, Dustin May, Will Smith, Gavin Lux, Gonsolin. Yep. It's like, where do we get these guys?
I know they're coming out of nowhere. Honestly,
it's still going to be good, but it's sad because that window for like the Kershaws, it's closing.
Yeah,
and he might win one as like if we keep delaying this, right? This timeline for the World Series, he's going to end up being like maybe a bullpen pitcher, dude. But the time is running out to get this.
Just one would help him so much. Like just even sees one.
Yeah, just one. So that's
something you guys brought with Kershaw is that it seemed to be a mental thing.
Yeah.
And while I haven't been following, like I said, I haven't followed enough to really understand that. Just from what I saw when the game ended and how he carried himself afterwards, there was a shots of him in the bullpen, in the dugout by himself, head down, looking real defeated. His post-game conference, he talked about how he understands how it looks and all of that. There definitely is a mental block that appears to be there. So I get maybe going to our James Harden thing, maybe James Harden's the same thing. But now returning back to Kershaw, just trying to figure out how he can get over that hump. I understand you bringing up the idea of him, of Roberts wanting to give him that shot to get over that now, to have that moment. But at the same time, though, in a moment where you need to just win the game, I think you just win the game. You can have your moment later on.
No
need to get sentimental. Let's just get the job done, and we'll figure out your moment next time. So I think that's what should have took place. So we'll see how. I watched baseball all year. We didn't talk about a whole lot in here because I was still learning, but I saw how everything went this year. I've been following. While my emotions aren't as tied as you guys appear to be, I'm going to continue to watch and see how it goes throughout the rest of these upcoming seasons. And I hope that we do get one sometime soon, because it's been years now. And to see how y'all feel about it, see people around me, how they've been feeling about it, being at work the last couple of days, everybody's just miserable still because of it. So I hope that the Dodgers figure it out. And I'm going to be staying tuned.
Thursday, I was like legit sad.
Yeah,
like, I haven't been like that sad about like sports since like the Lakers in like 2008 against the Celtics. Like, I was like legitimately sad that day. I was like, damn, that would hurt.
A lot of people said that. Like, this was the first time in a while where they really felt connected to a sport, and like it really hurt to see their team lose. So I really hope the Dodgers bounce back and get another shot to get a title. So definitely gonna be looking into all of that. Definitely gonna be staying tuned with all the baseball things. You want to talk about the rest of the playoffs, or you want to just leave that for another time?
The Nationals are still looking good. Like it might be their year, honestly. Like the rotation has been nasty. They almost threw a no-hitter from Anibal Sanchez in game 1. And then they got like 7 shutout innings, 1 hit from Scherzer, I think, in game 2. So they're up 2-0, and that was on the road. So they're going home for the next 2. So they might be on their way to the World Series. They'll run into some heavyweights in either the Astros or the Yankees. But yeah, what are you thinking, Vic?
Well, I have a bad habit of hating everyone and everything when the Dodgers lose.
I feel you. I
hate the Cubs, and I think this is a common theme with I hate the Cubs. I hate the Astros.
I hate the Astros.
I don't hate the Red Sox.
Okay.
I hate the Cardinals, of course, and the Giants, but that has nothing to do with the postseason. Those are the postseason, and I hate all of them. I hate the Nationals, man. They outplayed us. Yeah. They deserved it. They've never even been to an NLCS.
Right.
I'd like to see them win a World Series.
Yeah.
Why not?
Like it's weird to say, but yeah, I agree.
I mean, I don't hate them. I was sad about the loss. I was mad about the loss, but I'd love to see. I guess like my final thought on the postseason would be Yankees Nationals. I'd like to see it.
Okay. I mean, I think it'd be a pretty good series, honestly, just because their starting rotation is so good, and those are heavyweight hitters.
That power hitting, I think it's a decent matchup.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
So what does that mean? How do we now rank Bryce Harper if he leaves the Nationals and then the Nationals go on to win the title? If they do that, how does that work?
Overrated, dude. It's a comment. Yeah. It's the chant all the time at stadiums. Overrated.
Yeah.
I kind of agree.
Sure. I mean, the last couple of years he's been hitting like 240. He's one of those guys that like swings for the fences a lot. Like he goes big or strike out. So it's tough. It's tough to win a lot of games when a lot of guys take that approach, like we saw with the Dodgers. So a little overrated, especially with that contract. Like, what was it? 13 years, 330 or whatever.
Yeah, you got big bucks. Definitely big bucks.
Yeah, like Mike Trout, sure. Like, yeah, but Bryce Harper, I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
He didn't even make the playoffs, so
I agree. I think it definitely looks. No matter how you spin it, it makes Harper look a little bit bad the further they get.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot of dynamics going on with these playoffs. Definitely gonna be staying tuned for all of that. Definitely excited for what's to come with all of that. So appreciate y'all for all the baseball insight. I've learned every second y'all talk. I'm taking mental notes of all of that. So I appreciate you. Mental notes. I'm here. I'm listening. I got you guys. So appreciate all y'all for that. For everybody watching online, you can drop comments in our YouTube page and things. Let us know what you think about the baseball stuff. And now we go on past that. Something else we talked about before was James Harden. And James Harden's been in the news alongside the Rockets and the whole NBA with all the stuff going on over in China. Daryl Morey, who is the GM for the Rockets, tweeted out some things in support of Chinese protesters out there. And China, the government was not too fond of that. And it's caused a lot of Chinese-based brands to cut ties with players and things. There's been a lot of chaos going on both sides with that. So have you guys been paying attention to all of that going on, and you have any thoughts on it?
Thoughts are hard, like, because like we're not as privy to the politics of China,
right?
It being like U.S. citizens, like kind of taking the position of some of the players and some of the coaches, like I can't really like comment on it just because I don't really understand the complexities of it all. I don't know if you do, Vic, a little bit more, but
not exactly. But I fear, and I've seen this like on Twitter and online. I've seen people talk about it like a double standard. Mm-hmm. So, for example, Steve Kerr's really outspoken about social issues.
Right.
He's vocalized his disapproval of Trump, who is kind of an embodiment of people who think like that.
Right.
And I think you could boil the China thing down to like, let's Cliff Notes this, right? I think there's like a human rights thing going on over there. And I will as well not pretend to know everything and that Chinese politics.
Right.
But I do know that there's some violation of human rights happening over there. I don't know exactly what it is.
Right.
But I think why, and I'm not saying why I'm upset, I'm not necessarily taking a side, but I think why people are upset is because NBA players and people like Steve Kerr are open about many issues. And then it comes to this, where you might, with a little bit of research, be able to find out this is like a human rights issue. Mm-hmm. Why are they suddenly shying away from speaking about a social issue or a topic? And I'm just bringing in an opinion that I've seen other people say.
Mm-hmm.
It's a decent point. Is this a double standard, or is it something where kind of what Alec is saying, like if you don't know the political dynamic and these regimes and what's happening, you accurately speak on it.
Right.
I think it's kind of a fine line. I really don't know where that line
I feel
stands.
like you can't force people to speak about something like they're not comfortable speaking about. Like you don't want to unintelligibly say something that could throw more like whatever on the fire. Like you don't want to continue to fan the flame of the issue that's already going on. Like you had the game still went on between the Lakers and the Nets over there in China, but they had events that were canceled due to the controversy. And I know there's some fear that they might lose revenue from China, and that could affect salary cap and stuff in the NBA. So it could become a larger issue if players talk about it and they have no idea what they're talking about. So
sure.
Yeah, Vic, that was gonna be my next question, just about the double standard that's been going on. I've been seeing all of that kind of dialogue taking place about how NBA players are so vocal here, but don't want to talk about what's going on over there. I definitely understand that, and it is confusing a little bit because for years now, every time something happens, guys get out and are quick to tweet, quick to say something about what's going on and share their views on what's going on. And then when this takes place, now that it's in China, maybe the China ties and it being there and not an American-based situation is why they're kind of being quiet on this on what's going on. But yeah, it is confusing about how guys are quick now to not say anything. Like James Harden quickly deflected. Steph Curry was like no comment. Steve Kerr didn't want to say anything. Guys that usually would say things immediately now have nothing to say. So it does cause some confusion. But I think that the Chinese ties and it being different government and things that come into play with that plays a part into why they're doing that. There might not be as much knowledge that they have with that. So they're kind of staying quiet and learning first before they speak. And then there's also, like you guys said, there's big money there. China's, I think, the second largest NBA market or nation, something like that, wherever it's listed. But it's definitely one of the biggest markets that the NBA has. So they definitely want to preserve that, and they don't want to do something that could hinder their growth over there. So trying to preserve that, guys are quiet. They've been talking about how people like Klay Thompson, who had his, I think it's called Anti, something like that. He was sponsored by them. They cut ties with Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson wasn't the one involved with it, but there's cut ties with all NBA players. So when all this money is involved and there's so many politics and things, I understand it. But as a fan, I understand the confusion as well. So hopefully it all worked itself out. As Alec mentioned, there were games that still were played out there. Guys are still going out there and playing games and still showing their faces. So not in hiding, not running from it. But we just got to continue to sit and wait and see how it continues to unfold. So definitely an interesting situation that, like I said, we'll keep our eyes on. Now going on the court, you mentioned the games that took place there, the Lakers and the Nets. Our boys, the Lakers, lost both of those games to the Nets. Lakers lost the first one, 114-11, and the second one, 91-77. Did you guys watch either of those games?
Hell no, it was at 4:30 a.m.
Oh, they were early. True.
Bro.
I'm an early bird, so I saw portions of it.
Okay.
There was nothing to really grab from, but I did see a little bit about both those games, and there were some flashes where I saw the Lakers looking good. I also saw flashes where we had some guys that need some work still. So definitely saw that. That's what preseason is for. Mm-hmm. What's interesting though is that game one, Lakers played the Warriors, blew them out by like 20 points.
Yeah,
and everybody was like, "Oh, I told you." Then we lose the next two games, and the same people were like, have nothing to say. So it's like my thing. Even with the Lakers Warriors win, the Lakers Twitter account tweeted out, "Consider this a warning" and things like that.
Right,
I'm like, bro, it's way too early for that.
Yeah, you can't be doing that.
These teams are ready. We're still trying to figure it out. Yeah. And if you come out and say this is a warning, and then come out in the regular season and get smacked, it's gonna be all hell raining down on the Lakers Twitter and everything. So be careful with how you approach especially the preseason. Can't take every game so serious. Let guys just get out there and get their feet wet, and then we'll go from there. So my take from all of it is just don't take preseason too seriously. And
definitely. It's just a glimpse. I mean, like guys play their starters maybe half the game, maybe a quarter. I think like the third game, AD and LeBron only played like 12, 13 minutes. And AD hurt his hand, so that was like the one, I guess, like scary thing you could say.
Mhm.
Because I think that's like a maybe 1 week to 2 week recovery time
No
for his
damage, which is good, but it
Very
is
good.
green though. So
Yeah, so that's something to watch for, I guess, as the season gets started pretty soon. I think the 22nd is opening night,
What's going on?
so a little over a week. But yeah, I mean, I saw people on Twitter commenting about the second and third game against the Nets, and I know everyone's like hating on Rondo. I think
I don't hate
still
on
trying to figure
Rondo.
out
I just don't think he
the
should start.
lineups. Yeah, basically, yeah. People are like still trying to figure out like what's the best lineup to make us successful. I think the coaching staff is probably trying to figure that out too. The mixture of because they have so much depth. We have a lot of guys who can defend, but we also are going to need guys on the floor that can put the ball in the hole. Like that's what it comes down to. So,
Definitely.
I agree.
yeah.
Yeah. I think it's kind of like an experiment. Like, preseason, especially when you have such a massive overhaul of a roster like the Lakers did.
Right.
It's all new guys basically.
Yeah.
You want to see who meshes, who plays. I never overreact. I mean, I get excited to preseason, so obviously after the first game, I'm like, let's fucking go.
Right.
2020 champs confirmed. But, the expectations kind of settle back in. But when AD and LeBron were on the floor together, they looked really good.
Yeah.
And we know this, if you surround them with ample shooting and wing defenders, Danny Greens, Avery Bradley's, this could be a good team. But I thought the you're on notice thing after the first preseason.
I was like, I saw that and I cringed, honestly. I was like, bro, it's way too early.
And then I think the Bucks like sent like a shot back. They're like, consider this a preseason game. Like, whatever.
Now, if we come out and first game against the Clippers beat them by 20, then I'm like, okay, maybe say something. But preseason game, no, like everybody chill. Like starters doing a play second half, like relax. Yeah, so definitely a interesting start to the Lakers preseason. A lot of stuff still going on. We got a few games left against the Warriors and Clippers and things, and then the Warriors and then Clippers starts off the season. So things are getting underway and season starts approaching. You guys have any other notes on the preseason that you wanted to bring up? Like any other things that stood out if you've been watching?
The major standout I think has been Zion. I mean, he's always going to get probably the most coverage as being the number one pick and one of the most highly touted recruits ever, after LeBron probably. So he's getting a lot of praise so far, I'd say. He's kind of exceeded some people's expectations so far, probably. I think a lot of people are either like he's going to be an all-time great or he's going to be a bust. And he's definitely going to be probably somewhere closer to the middle ground of that.
Right.
I think he'll be an elite player eventually in his career. I mean, he'll obviously go through like his rookie bumps in the road, but I think he's going to make an immediate impact with this team. They have a team that likes to run and gun. They have our Laker boys and Zoe and BI and Hart. They already have Drew Holiday, who's a proven star in this league too. So I think he came into a situation where he can immediately be successful and he can just be himself. And I think they're also going to like try to feed him, but he doesn't necessarily have to like carry the load. So it'll be interesting to see how their season goes. They're like my sleeper for 8th seed in the West. I think they're going to be pretty competitive. So I don't know if you guys have seen any highlights or anything like that, but what are your thoughts?
I'll take it again. Something that I've been seeing is someone else who brought up on the Pelicans. That's Zoe. Lonzo Ball continue to do more of the same as he did on the Lakers. He's doing there in New Orleans. But now, without the Lakers spotlight, he's getting more praise this time around.
Yeah.
And people are, though he's not getting 20 and 7 like Zion might get his game right now.
Mm-hmm.
His 8, 5, and 5, alongside all he does around the court without the ball, has been getting a lot of notice now. Yeah. It's just frustrating because this is now the second point guard we've had in a row that's been great on the Lakers, been doing all this stuff beyond the stats, but our fans only see it for the numbers, the stat sheet, and they get overlooked or they get hated on constantly. Then they go somewhere else and continue to do the same thing and not get praised. First, it was D'Angelo Russell, who was hated on and had all these issues, and I understand why he left. But then we have Lonzo Ball in the somewhat the same situation, and now he's in New Orleans. He's getting praised as well. So these guys, the Lakers spotlight is brutal
It
sometimes.
seemed like a lot more of the hate was from like opposing fans who are now suddenly praising him. Now, like,
Regardless of where it comes from, regardless, I'm saying there's definitely be a switch.
Now, like Lonzo, he had that.
like that's his move since like Cheeto Hills. So like, what are you talking about?
The jump shot looks the same to me.
Look at his new shot. I'm like, that shit's the same.
Like he's got it a little more on the right side instead of like coming across.
It's the same shit, bro.
Yeah,
it's the same shit.
He's not like this, but he's still like this.
Yeah, exactly.
Is this that new? No, it's just so. Everyone switched up on Zoe, man. It's like people love to hate on Laker players, and to Garrett's point, kind of Laker fans love to hate on our own players sometimes. Yeah. I think Lonzo gets a fresh start to kind of stay with the Pelicans for a little bit. Yeah. And, BI gets kind of a fresh start, and now everyone's like, wow, like the Pelicans look kind of good.
No, I hate the like they've improved so much. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like they're doing the same shit you were already doing.
His impact was always beyond the stat sheet. So I don't think that's changed that much. I think he's just going to grow as the player he has been. So
a lot of box score.
I know something interesting also with that Pelicans team is as great as young guys are, someone to keep an eye on, not only just to stay on the Pelicans, but I think BI could be on the move again. I think they're working right now, and again, he's still a young player with a lot of potential still. So the Pelicans probably gonna keep on to him, but just trying to figure out those lineups. I think there's a possibility that BI could end up somewhere else. I don't know. Now I wouldn't say this season because they definitely want to see how this plays out. But I don't know if he's gonna be a long-term Pelican. So
I think they're working on his
keep an eye.
They're working on his fake because he likes to play isolation ball. He likes to work off the dribble, create his own shots. And they're a lot more like run and gun, transition game, spread the ball around. Zoe just like wants to make the right basketball play, just find the open man kind of thing.
Yeah, I definitely got to adjust. He definitely got to adjust.
He has to adjust his game a little bit, but very talented and still very young. So
for sure. Yeah, we'll see. We definitely shall see. And that's really all I have with that. That's all I have for NBA things. We talked about baseball, definitely good stuff there. And now the last sport that we got to address. Football. There's a lot of good football that's been going on the last couple of days. I have the Rams hat on today. I'm not a fraud. Everybody wait before you get on me. I'm a LA boy. I like the Rams too. They're not a favorite team or anything like that, but I will show support. I like the hat, whatever.
He was just protecting the hairline, so
that's all it was. Y'all were clowning the hairline. I threw the hat on. I like the Rams enough to put the hat on, and that's where we are today. And the Rams are playing the 49ers today. I turned to my screen right now. Okay. And they're actually losing to the 49ers. It's 20-7 in the fourth quarter. About 9 minutes left. The 49ers appear to be the real deal. So, they went from that trash squad last year to now about to be a 5-0 squad. So, it's crazy to see how that all played out. Jimmy G, Stephen Nett calls him porn star Jimmy. Appears to be the truth, and they turned their things around. He always calls him porn star Jimmy. He went on a date with that porn star last offseason or something like that. So Stephen Nett always comes to him about that. But definitely amazing to see the turnaround that team has been going, but has been on right now. Definitely a good squad. It's funny I say that right now when they just fumbled the ball away to the Rams for a fumble for a touchdown. But anyways,
Todd Gurley's out today too.
Yeah.
So that's what I was going to go. Turning back to the Rams, they were supposed to be the team that the 49ers are right now. They're supposed to be the dominant team, but things have seem to be falling apart. So why do you think the Rams have turned to how they are right now?
Bro. I'm a Rams fan, so
okay, go ahead.
I don't have as much NFL analysis as you guys, but I know my Rams.
Okay. Go ahead, bro.
Our offense is predicated on our zone running game, our zone running scheme, which is Todd Gurley 8, right, for 2 years. That zone run and off the zone run, play action. Big plays, chunk plays, play action. Everyone stuffs the box to try to stop Gurley, but now you got a 3-headed monster. Plus our tight ends. I'm talking about the receiving core, Cooks, Woods, and that was golden for 2 years. And last year, more so than ever, no one could stop it until the Patriots, right? So teams are employing how the Bears played us on that Sunday night game last year, how the Patriots played us, and with the diminishing effect of our run game, we're getting exposed is kind of the word, right? I think McVay is struggling with how exactly to adjust with a not healthy Gurley and teams adjusting to his offense. So I'm interested to see how do we get this thing going. Our offense is high powered. We have 7 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
How? Why?
Yeah, I don't understand it.
Is Goff really that guy?
We just paid him, so he better.
I know. We definitely gave him the bag, but
I think he can be. He can be, right? He took us to a Super Bowl. I mean, clearly he could be. Now, is he that guy? Maybe not, but is he a guy?
He's definitely a guy. It's a system, so like he could be a system QB.
I think the system QB a little bit, but I think his arm strength, he's decent decision making.
Okay.
He's been prone to turnovers this year, but
yeah.
To go back to the Niners, kind of though, I got to give them credit. I'm a Niners hater. Their defense looks incredible.
Looks very good.
The run game, that two-headed monster of Breida and
like Tevin Coleman now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dude, Jimmy G looks great, man. This whole thing they're doing, I've been clowning them a little bit. Oh, they haven't played anyone. I think the Rams are someone, and they're kicking our ass right now. So yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, go over there. Definitely keep your eyes on them. I don't know what their potential is, but being undefeated, as what's the fuck his name? Michael Jordan said, the ceiling is the roof, or whatever the fuck. They can go as far as they want to go. So gotta keep your eyes on them. Definitely gonna be a major threat. And going back to the Rams, though, we'll really dig into them. And with them, I feel like with Jared Goff, he's the $100 million guy when he has Todd Gurley next to him. Yeah. When Todd Gurley presents that threat, and when you don't know if Todd Gurley's going to run up the gut or if Jared Goff's going to drop back, it makes it a little bit harder for defenses to read and to control. Mm-hmm. But with Gurley not being the Gurley that we knew, the MVP type level Gurley that he was for the past couple seasons, with him falling apart, it makes it easier to key on Goff and figure out what he's about to do. So that diminishes also the wide receivers and things. When guys know what's coming, they can better adjust and slow these guys down. So Gurley is the center of all that. This offense is based around Gurley, and then Goff gets success off of that in the same way that I think it's with the Cowboys with Zeke and then Dak. And we can talk about it another time. But if Goff got to make sure that he gets his running back right, and once Gurley is back, he should be back to normal. But for right now, it's real shaky. When you can key on him, he shows that he's not going to be Rodgers. He's not going to be a Brady. He's not going to be one of these top tier guys. He's just going to be kind of in the middle. But with some help, he definitely can take this team far. So
how's their defense looking? Because I know they give up like 50 points to the Buccaneers.
They gave up 50 to them. They've been in a few shootouts. They're giving up 20 points at least today.
That was a part of their sustained success as well too. Like their defense wasn't a slouch either. Like they have been following.
It's been kind of weird. Like we'll have games where the defense looks really good, or like a game where Peters, for example, he's like an embodiment of how fickle our defense is.
Okay.
We'll have a game with like 2 picks, a pick six, like 6 tackles. And then a game against the Bucs, for example, where he just gets shredded, burned on multiple routes. Jameis Winston threw 5 picks today, man. He's not that good.
No, he's not. Right. He's very inconsistent
at home. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the defense, but without the defense and without Gurley, like kind of what Garrett was saying, it's tough on Goff because now he has to be the $100 million guy.
Yeah,
it's a good question. Is he the guy? I don't know. Maybe not.
Just a quick note. It's weird. It's so fucking weird with Jameis because he threw 5 picks today and they did lose, but he also threw for 400 yards and 2 touchdowns. So it's like he's bad, but he's good, but he's trash.
You got to take care of the ball, though.
You got to take care of the ball. So I'm saying he's been turning he started to turn things around. Today was a wild ass game out in London that he just played, and that played a part.
Maybe it's because they were overseas.
Those London games are always weird for everybody, but that could be for real. I hear you. But going back to the Rams, Jared Goff they got to figure that whole thing out. The defense, I wonder how much. Actually, no. After 5 games, it's clear that the loss of Ndamukong Suh was more than just on the field. I think he had a leadership presence there, regardless of how vocal he may have been. What he was doing in the middle solidified that defense to what they could do surrounding him and behind him. So I think the new guys that they have in, while they might be better players on the field, it's not spreading throughout the rest of the team. So that's why guys are struggling right now. So it appears to be more of the same going on right now. The 49ers are up, as I said, and we'll see how the Rams season continues to unfold. We'll see.
sticking with that London game, I think the Buccaneers played the Panthers, correct?
Yeah.
So Christian McCaffrey is looking like an MVP candidate this season.
Oh, yeah.
Looking like the best running back in the league by far right now. So
let's say it because people are still calling him Saquon Light. They're still calling him the second best. They say on for Max Kellerman, Fox Purple, they all call him Saquon Light, things like that. No, he's the best running back in the league.
Yeah,
he'd be one of the best players in the league. He'd be MVP. If he wasn't honest, let's just say if he wasn't a white guy, I think he'd be getting a little more praise. I think the stereotype with the white. Yeah, with the white running back thing, we're still trying to get more comfortable with that. That's still something that that's not something we see often. We had the one time before with, who was that? Peyton Hillis on the Browns. He was at the Madden cover Peyton Hillis, and then it was all downhill from there. So we're still cautious of him. But I definitely see what Chris McCaffrey is doing. It's funny.
McCaffrey.
It's funny. I had the number one pick in fantasy because me and Alec have a fantasy league, and I was tossing up between Saquon and Christian McCaffrey. And I went with Saquon, but Christian definitely would have been the better pick as well as Saquon is. So, Christian got to get more love across the board. He definitely should be in MVP conversation. Yeah. That's always a quarterback thing, but we're seeing in Carolina that the most valuable player is not their quarterback there. They can have Kyle Allen back there and still win games. So gotta give more love to Christian McCaffrey, and he needs to definitely be in that conversation.
Definitely. I think he's probably number 2 right now as far as MVP. I'd probably give it to Russell Wilson right now. But McCaffrey
these guys on my fantasy team, by the
way.
You
must be killing it.
You must be actually 6-0, baby.
Shit,
that's crazy.
All right.
Yeah. We gotta have you join. We gotta have you join our league next year. Definitely, guys. That'll be fun. Yeah, we gotta have you on there.
In all my other leagues, 6-0 in this league. 0-5.
I feel you. But Chris McCaffrey definitely a real good talent. Definitely needs his praise. And someone else on that team that deserves praise, but has been shaky for a little while now is Cam Newton because of injuries and things. He's been in and out of the game. He's out right now with another injury, but Christian McCaffrey's still holding it down.
Right.
We're not big Panthers fans or anything like that. We're just seeing from afar what's going on with Cam Newton. How do you think the Panthers should handle that? You think they should keep him around, or knowing you have McCaffrey that can hold it down the fort, you get anybody back there and then trade Newton for another piece?
That's interesting, just because of the injuries he's dealt with. And he's usually played through them. This is the first season he hasn't really played through them. Man, because he's so talented. I think you got to give it another shot with him once he gets healthy, one more chance. Because Kyle Allen's holding it down right now, but like you said, it's McCaffrey who's really holding it down. And quarterback is the most important position on the field. So I think you got to give it one more shot once he gets 100% healthy with Cam Newton. If it doesn't work then, if he gets another bad injury again, then maybe move on from him. But I don't think Kyle Allen's the guy of the future or
I'm not saying he is, but I'm saying
all right though. He looks
he's doing a good job. He's not bad by any stretch.
Right.
But I was just saying not Kyle Allen, but just use Cam Newton to get some other piece. Personally, I don't think that having a running quarterback and the do-it-all running back like McCaffrey, I don't think that's the right mix. I think you should have a drop-back quarterback alongside the all-world what McCaffrey is. So I think if you trade Newton for another quarterback that better fits alongside McCaffrey, you have a better thing going long-term. Newton, though he is Superman. He is the MVP that we once saw. He did lead the Panthers to a Super Bowl a few years ago. We went 14-2, wherever that was. I think that I've seen we're past that. I don't think that we're getting that same Newton anymore. So the Panthers got to find new ways to adjust. And if you hold on to Newton too long, I think it might be a bad decision. So I think while Newton still has a lot of love right now, people still are big fans of his and still see a lot of potential in him. I'd rather move him to somewhere else where he better fit rather than being in Carolina still. So I don't know exactly where that place is. I've been looking around just small. There have been a lot of rumors. This is something I've been thinking of just a little bit. A place like the Bears or somebody that needs a quarterback because Mitchell Trubisky is not holding it down. I don't know if the Panthers would want Trubisky back in return for that. But the idea of putting Cam Newton in Chicago, they already have that defense which is set. Then you put Cam Newton on the offense just to get the job done. I think could be nasty. So there's potential all across the board for what they can do with Cam Newton. And another thing that we got to keep our eyes on because there's a whole bunch of possibilities with Cam Newton and a lot of things in the league. So
I mean, if he keeps coming with those nasty fits, then you got to get him. You got to get him out of here.
That's drip, y'all. I mean, we can talk about football, but don't hate on the man. He got style. I'm with his fast.
He looks like a black grandma. I'm not with him.
He looks like he's going to like a black grandma. Like,
oh man, nah, bro, nah, man. Y'all hating.
Oh man,
let Cam do his thing. But yeah, that's for the most part. That's it. The last thing, as a Ravens fan, I'll talk about that. Ravens beat the Bengals today, 23-17. Decent game. Lamar had 200 yards passing, 150 yards running, something like that. He was the second quarterback ever, I think, alongside Michael Vick to do something. He had some Michael Vick type stat where he just beat. So we're about to continue to do his thing. We're now 4-2, looking good, and I hope it continues. I mean, the Bengals weren't anything I was afraid of, and we got the job done.
I mean, you guys are beating the bad teams, like as you should. So
got to beat the bad teams first.
Got to. So definitely excited for the rest of this season. Lastly, talking about the MVP thing with McCaffrey. Two other guys in that conversation are Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes, and they finally faced off today in a shootout that was crazy. Did you guys see any of that game?
I saw the second half of it.
Yeah. Houston got the win today. Beat the Chiefs. I'm gonna pull up the score real quick. My apologies, but this was the first game that or is it 31-24? Texans beat the Chiefs in Kansas City. So big game for Houston. Great showing from Deshaun Watson. They both quarterbacks, Deshaun Watson and Mahomes, are two guys that have been paired together. They were also a part of that 2017 draft class, I believe. That was loaded with all those running backs. I think that somebody pointed out a couple days ago. Kamara, McCaffrey, Fournette, Kareem Hunt. All those guys were in the same draft class. And then you also have Deshaun Watson, Mahomes. Somehow Trubisky went before both of them, but
hey, NFL doesn't like black quarterbacks, bro.
clearly. But Deshaun and Patrick show why they're two of the best young guns in the league. So definitely a great outing. And honestly, we're talking about MVP voting, and you guys brought up how Wilson is first and McCaffrey might be second. I think the reason why Mahomes might not be in that top two anymore is because of a game like today. He had a couple picks late. He had a couple bad turnovers late in these games where he tried to do his Mahomes thing, just throw it up there and hope for the best, and let you some turnovers. And that magic, I don't want to say it's running out, but there are times when it doesn't work for him. So he has his bad moments as well. So still learning and still growing despite already being the all-world talent that he is. So I think he's out of the MVP, not completely out of it, but he's further down the list on the MVP race for right now. And he could have some great moments as he usually does going forward. But for right now, it's a race between Wilson and McCaffrey in my eyes, like you guys mentioned. So that's all I want to point out last with the NFL.
Okay. From college football.
Oh yeah, got to get to that. First off, Vic, you're a UC Davis guy, and something I wanted to bring up was we have a friend of the show also that's on that football team, Isaiah Thomas, who's on that team, and UC Davis beat Cal Poly yesterday, and I believe from what I saw, was it 3? I don't think it was 3. Somebody said 3 picks. I think it was just 2 from what I saw in the stats. Isaiah had 2 picks and a couple of nice kick returns and things. Definitely looking good out there. Definitely a great DBO there that UC Davis has. And just want to shout out to him, friend of the show.
Shout out.
I definitely got to keep my eyes on. So shout out to him over there at UC Davis. Shout out to Brandon Lee, who's out at UC Davis as well. Definitely major love to them. Excuse me. I'm getting all caught up today. My apologies. But going out to our team, we talked about USC, we talked about UCLA, Arizona, and things. All 3 of them lost yesterday.
I went to the Arizona game. It was looking good until the second half.
Washington just went crazy on us. And as I was talking about Washington, talking about a friend of the show, another friend of the show, JoJo McIntosh, who went to Washington and is out in the NFL now. And I talked to him a couple of times, and I want to have him on the show soon. So public call out to JoJo. Well, major love to you, bro. I have you on the show soon, and y'all boys tore us up yesterday, man. That hurt. Washington beat Arizona. Arizona, Khalil Tate did not have a good outing yesterday. It was 51-27. Washington just blew us out in the second half. So, we rained a whole lot of praise on Arizona the last few weeks about how they turned the corner a little bit. But today they played yesterday they played a real good team and got blown out. So hopefully they bounce back and can get back on the right track.
Yep.
Going on to UCLA and USC. USC is just a roller coaster of emotions these days. They're good and they're bad and they're good. Yesterday they played 8th ranked Notre Dame that many people consider a blowout, but USC stuck around for most of it. Yeah. And when you have close games like that, you hope for outcomes like with Georgia and South Carolina, where South Carolina was able to beat the top-ranked Georgia squad like we saw the other day.
Right.
And I was like, okay, we saw one upset today. Give us one more, and let's have USC do it. Yeah. But Notre Dame held us off and won 30-27. So a rough game, but they fought hard, and I hope they continue to fight the rest of the season. I really have no expectations this year. Like, just play hard, have some good games, and then we'll see where we go from there. So that was it for USC. And then for UCLA, lost to Oregon State 48-31.
Too bad. I don't know. I don't think anyone paid attention.
I got nothing.
So bad.
So,
One commentary, trash.
So bad.
Yeah, that's all I have. I don't have anything else to add with that. So, that's all I really have for all the sports stuff. We talked Dodgers a little bit. Y'all got your depression out. Talk Lakers, talk football, all that good stuff. It's still there, but it's good to release. It's good to release. So glad y'all got that out and talk about all the sports now. And I'm a big music fan. We talk about music sometimes on here. I have my 5 for you list every week for those that listen, that they're on our IG page at Section.300. I have my list every week, and there's a lot of good stuff on there. And honestly, this week, Wale dropped his album, Wow, That's Crazy. And that's all I listened to this weekend. Like, it's really good. Really enjoyed that. So the rest of my list consists of people like, let me pull it up, NBA Youngboy, who dropped his album. Lil Kim dropped an album called 9. Rod the Miz, who I mentioned last week. I said I was going to put him on the list. I added him on there. A few underground guys, Flea Lord, El Camino, for those that may know those names. Roddy Ricch dropped a single called Big Stepper that was real solid. And then BJ the Chicago Kid and Ari Lennox came together for a remix of Time Today from BJ's last album. So good stuff there. Good songs. I didn't really listen to them a whole lot because I was stuck on Wale's thing. Okay. And it's funny because people usually hate on Wale all the time. He's still someone who's still trying to shake all the hate that he once got. Mm-hmm. And he's someone who is like the flip of Big Sean to me. Like, at first, I didn't like Big Sean. Or at first, I liked Big Sean a lot. Okay. And I just grew to get annoyed as fuck with him. And I just stopped listening to him at all.
Got sick of the punchlines.
Yeah, exactly. All that was annoying as hell to me. Yeah. Wale was someone who I liked a little bit at first. He had a couple of bad moments where I was off him a little bit, but he's bounced back real strong recently. And everything he's done recently with all the little EPs he's put out, a few singles, the features, and now with this album, he's been on a great run that I'm really enjoying. So this Wow, That's Crazy album is something that's definitely in rotation. Definitely should be for everybody. There's lists every day now. This should be on those lists for the best album of the year. It's definitely one of the better ones I've heard. And I really enjoy it top to bottom. That Sumi track that starts it off.
Right, that was a great opener.
It's so great to have a great intro that sets the mood for the whole album, and he did a great job with that. And the rest of the album follows suit with that same flow, and it's a lot of great stuff. So really check out that album. Great features, Bryson Tiller, Boogie, and a bunch of other names that I'm forgetting right now. But really great album that I think you guys definitely should check out. So check out that Wow, That's Crazy album. And then for my classic, it was Crenshaw, the mixtape from Nipsey that dropped 6 years ago this week. I had to shout that one out. So a lot of great stuff on there. Check out our IG for the list every week. And good stuff. That's my list this week. So any other hip hop stuff you want to talk about today? Any other music? Any other just random anything at this point? Honestly, I'll let y'all just take it away.
Anything? Oh well, we gotta talk Joker. I think we all.
I was gonna say.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, man.
Do we want? Hold on. When did it drop? When did it come out?
It came out October 4th, so it's a little over a week now. That's
over a week. All right. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, we're not worried about spoilers anymore.
Spoiler alerts.
If you haven't seen it, I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry about that.
I'm sorry.
Sorry about
that shit.
it.
So let's get into it. What do y'all think about the Joker movie?
I loved it.
I fuck with it a
Vic,
lot.
you loved it too?
Yeah, bro. I appreciate like good acting a lot, and like when an actor changes their body for a role, like if they get buffer for a role or really skinny, I take note of stuff like that because it's hard to do that, dude. You're changing
you gotta be dedicated.
And everyone knows the character Joker is very skinny, right? And like
Right.
cartoons and stuff. Historically, he's a very like slim, tall figure. And Joaquin Phoenix changed his body, man.
Yeah, he lost like 51 pounds.
I'm not really a comic guy, so I don't really know all the backstory. But I had thought that Joker was skinny like that because of the whole he fell into the pit, whatever that Batman pushed him in.
Yeah. I mean,
so I didn't know he was sick prior to that. So when I saw the trailers, I kind of knew who Joaquin Phoenix was before that. So I was like, oh, is this going to be some kind of Batman side-by-side shit? So I didn't know that he was already sick as he already was.
Well,
so,
this Joker movie is like a complete standalone. Like they were given like the creative license to tell whatever story they wanted from Warner Brothers Studios. So they told their whole own origin story with Joker with this one. Yeah,
and I like the way they went with it.
Yeah,
definitely do. It makes a whole lot of sense how he had the illnesses and things and was bullied and things and how it all just kind of spiraled from where it went.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the parallels? There were some things where I saw people trying to do the social commentary on it. And the elites versus the lower classes and whatever.
You can see the classism like themes and stuff in it. I didn't see the media narrative where they were trying to push like the angry white man kind of thing. Like
I don't think it was that
against the world. Like I wasn't feeling like they were trying to make it like someone was gonna watch this movie and then
be like
they'd be inspired and become.
That's a good side note. That's where I wanted to go. I was gonna go at some point, but that's really been annoying me. How we're in this era right now where there's shootings every day that's taking place, all this stuff going on all the time, and for us to feel like there's people that are wanting someone to take this Joker movie and want to do that, to say like
they were like heavily pushing.
It's like, bro, you shouldn't be endorsing that in any way. That's not what this movie is for. It's not intended to rile up people and push them to do anything.
Yeah.
And the media continue to push at that to make it seem like that's bound to happen. Has been real nasty. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
No, like whatever happened to movies just being movies, man.
That's what I'm saying.
It's a fictional story. Like, yes, based in reality, but
it's based off of a character, man. The Joker is crazy. He's an outcast. He's a murderer. He's a criminal. That's what it's about, man. That's what
it's about a mentally ill dude who's like psychotic. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. But we live in a society, right? We live in where like these things are taken and then fit into narratives and like boxes, right? Where people push an agenda. So you have like, I don't know, you could have people that worry about shootings and stuff, right? Like, oh, someone's gonna go to the theater and like shoot up the theater because the Joker inspires them. Man, it's a character.
Right.
I don't know. It kind of bothers me because I saw tweets and I saw like news outlets putting the narrative out there for anyone else, and it's like, or there's another like theory that like Joker supports or like encourages incel.
Oh yeah, incel behavior or whatever. Yeah,
it's like the incel, and I'm like,
what?
Yeah, he's just the Joker, man.
Exactly.
It was just like a very, very well done piece of cinema. Like,
can we just leave it at yeah, man. I was like, why can't we just leave like good pieces of film? Yeah, there's elements of craziness and murder and like there is that classist.
It was dark. It was violent.
Yeah, but dude, that's what you want a Joker movie to be. A true Joker origin is dark. It's
very dark. Had to be.
Like that whole final like third act, the last third of the movie.
Yeah.
It turned up the heat. Like
it was crazy, bro.
Continuously building slowly, but like that shit, wow.
Absolutely. So yeah, that's what I think about it.
How did you guys feel about like the Joker ranking contest now that everyone?
I was gonna ask. Can I be honest with you?
Okay.
I put Joaquin above Heath
Okay.
And the only reason I do that is because he has his own movie to have his own development and all that top to bottom.
Mhm.
I think if Heath got his own movie in that same manner, I think he'd be the clear number one. I think because he still, to me, as great as Joaquin is, there's still, when I think Joker, I immediately think Heath still.
Yeah.
But just as a full role and how they did in the whole movie top to bottom, I think that I'm putting Joaquin just as the full performance and what he did throughout that whole movie, that whole story. If Heath got a movie solely forced on him, fully based on him, I think he had the number one spot still. But because Joaquin was able to have the full thing based around him, and he to show all that he showed, the range that he showed throughout that movie, I definitely got to put him at one for right now. I loved every second of that movie. So
yeah,
definitely real good.
Yeah, I think they were very different Jokers too. Like Heath's Joker was like a maniacal criminal villain. Like this Joker, he was becoming the Joker. Like this was more of like a mentally ill man finding that like Joker within himself. Like,
I think Heath was the cartoon Joker that we all knew brought to life like perfectly.
Yeah,
and I think that Joaquin is like, what would it be if there was a real life Joker? Like that's how it actually would take place. So that's how I view it.
Yeah. For me, I think Heath is still like I was kind of doing like in my head like the Mike and Kobe like analogy. Like Heath is kind of Mike, too. Also based off just like nostalgia as well. Like and him like dying before like the movie came out too. Like it gave it a little bit more weight, and I think it gave it a little bit more praise, just his performance as well. But it was kind of like Mike and Kobe to me. It's like Joaquin was like right there. It was an amazing performance from Joaquin, but I think still Heath's Joker just like means like a little bit more to me as well. I kind of want to watch like The Dark Knight again. Like I'm probably gonna watch it again.
I am too.
But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How about you?
What you think?
Yeah, bro. I think it's kind of like a toss-up. But to Garrett's point, when you get your own origin story and stuff, it's really hard to not put him at one because you get to see the start and the onset of Joker. Yeah. But Heath's ability to like be that good, like he got a standalone. He was kind of injected into the Dark Knight.
Yeah, story. And it was a supporting character.
He just stole the show.
He took over the movie.
And he absolutely stole the show. He won, dude. How many like comic book movie actors win supporting? He won Best Supporting Actor that year. He had died, Rip Heath, but he won an Oscar for it. But I also think
Joaquin should. He should
be nominated for. Dude, he's got to be nominated.
At the very least, nominated.
Yeah.
He probably won't win. The politics and what the movie means in society.
Whatever they are, they're not big fans of the the superhero stuff.
But this was like a cartoon movie like we've never seen before either.
True. Exactly.
Or just like a drama that happened to be like a comic book character, but
it didn't even feel like a Marvel movie or like
a DC
movie with like CGI or like or even good CGI. It was just raw, right? It was
very raw.
How was DC able to do this movie, but all the other movies are trash?
Well, the director, you got to give a lot of credit to Todd Phillips. I mean, because he's done very different movies in the past, like the Hangover trilogy, like Old School. But with this one, like he created a great piece. I think he wanted it to feel like it was like made like in the 70s type feel.
I get that too.
Gotham to really feel like New York kind of, and enclosed in on the Joker's life, how he kind of felt enclosed and isolated in his own life kind of thing. So I thought he painted a really great picture of what the Joker's origin could have been. I mean, because it was his writing, it was their story,
right?
To create. They gave them the creative license to do whatever they wanted with it. So
yeah, they did a real good job. And where do they go next from that? Like, do you think there's gonna be another Joker movie, or do you think there's gonna be a Batman thing? What do you do with that? You just leave it alone, or you follow it?
You want to go ahead, Vic?
No, I think you leave that alone.
Yeah.
I think you leave that alone. And Alec? They're like, there's a new Batman movie with Robert Pattinson, right?
Oh, God. Yeah, I think that's coming eventually. Yeah.
In the works. I don't think there's like there's definitely no like preview out for it or anything.
Right yet.
I don't know how deep the development is, but I think there's plans, right?
Yeah, I believe there is for another Batman movie. So
the Joker thing, I think it's a solo masterpiece, and you leave it where it is. Don't try to marvel it all of a sudden, because DC is best when they get away from the whole. They tried to marvel it with like, and it kind of was a shit show. And they're best when they're dark.
Yeah.
The Dark Knight trilogy, the Joker movie, these kind of standalones that they don't try to create this. Marvel,
the whole like universe is all connected.
Marvel nailed the universe thing, man. Stick to what you're good at. Marvel's good at making these characters fit together, and DC's good at like trilogies, standalones. Just keep doing that.
Yeah,
just stay in that pocket. I didn't even think about that. They should body the R-rated. They should body the R-rated superhero. Just take that and run with it.
Dark. Make the new Batman really dark. I liked Ben Affleck. I think he looks like Batman. Mm-hmm. I always envisioned Bruce Wayne as really buff, right? So like Christian Bale is a better Batman than Ben Affleck, but he doesn't look like Bruce Wayne to me. To me, Ben Affleck looked like Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. And I think he could be a good Batman, but the writing in his movies was really bad.
Exactly, the writing was so. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, if they stick to the dark side, the R-rated side, DC has a lot of potential there, because a lot of their superheroes have dark stories. Superman has a dark story about how he came to Earth and whatever. Batman, his start was dark. Joker, whatever. All of you get a lot of dark stories there. You take that and run with it; it'd be great. So stay in your pocket, and y'all be just fine. So
exactly, the start of a very good trend of movies going forward. Hopefully,
absolutely. So, yeah, definitely excited for what's next with DC. I haven't said that in a while, but they got me back on board. So we definitely shall see. And with that, I don't have anything left. You guys have anything else to say?
I don't think so.
Oh, really?
I think that's it, man. Another episode, Section.300. There's 6ix9ine stuff. There's Hip Hop Awards. I don't know what I'm talking about that today. We can wait. Nothing. We can wait. We can wait.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah, another episode, Section.300. Appreciate everybody for tuning in to another episode 42. Again, find us where you listen to podcasts, whether it be here on YouTube. Thank you all the viewers. Subscribe to our page, rate our page, like, comment, all that kind of stuff. We appreciate all the love you guys show here. Find us on IG at Section.300. Find us on Twitter at Section300 Pod. Find us on Apple Podcasts. Find us on Spotify, Stitcher. Where you listen to podcasts, we're there. Show love. And reach out to us. I'm your host, Garrett. Get my G Thomas 7. Find me everywhere at that. Alec, let him know where to find you at, bro.
Yeah, find me on IG at Alec Foster. Find me on Twitter at LakersFan24.
And then friend of the show, Baseball Insider Vic. Appreciate you for coming on, bro. Tell everybody where to find you, bro.
Hey, always a fun time. Always a fun time hopping on. I'd be happy to come back for sure.
Definitely. Where can the fans find you at, bro?
Find me at Vic Mungary. Don't find me right now. I need a little bit more. But
I saw your sad Dodger tweet after the game. Man.
Hey! Don't find me right now. My last tweet was kind of sad, but find me. All right, find me later.
Definitely. So we definitely appreciate you coming back on the show with us. Definitely got to run it back another time with you. Always fun when we get together. Definitely. And yeah, man, it's another episode 42, Section.300. I have no shout out.
Shout out Joaquin Phoenix.
Shout out yeah. Shout out to him. And we out of here, man. Appreciate all y'all for tuning in. And yeah, peace. Episode 42, Section.300. We out of here.
Deuces.
See y'all.
Deuces.